Hi and welcome back to Recycle 40k. Now we've got the paint off the Rhino and the Rhino's disassembled, it's now time to basically rub it down, get rid of any of the crap bits, and then try and get it back together in a much better way than it was when I first found it. So, first thing we're going to need is a bit of sandpaper. Move the stuff out of the way. On the edge of here it is bubbled and burnt, and it's got lots of extra little bits of plastic on it, which, yes, I could scrape off fairly easily, but quite frankly it's much easier just to get a bit of paper and just sand down the extra plastic. There's a bit of extra glue on there which is going to get in the way, so we'll get rid of that as well. Right, now we've got much nicer sanded sides, and they're smoother and they're going to be much easier for the glue to adhere to. We can start reassembling. First things first, we're going to reassemble the main body of the Rhino. Now that all the glue's gone, all the plastic's scraped off, this actually fits together much more easily. But we're going to have to make sure it actually does sit there with no gaps, because there's no point repairing and recycling something if you're going to stick it back together and it's going to look as bad as when you started. So, bit of glue. Just along the edges. You'll notice I'm not using model glue, I'm using super glue. That's because this model has had so much abuse with model glue. It's melted so damn badly that I don't want to cause any more damage to the plastic, and super glue actually adheres to the plastic and it doesn't rely on the plastic actually melting, which is going to be much better than actually remelting half the plastic again. Make sure everything's pushed down and each side has adhered and each seam is straight. So there we go, that's much better. So we've got a nice straight seam there, nice there, and it has glued along the seams there and along the back, and if you shine a light in it, there is no gaps except for the massive hole there, and where the glue got absolutely into the plastic here and just tore it to pieces, and I've had to remove that section because it was completely unsalvageable. But we now have the main chassis of the Rhino ready to work. Next we need to attach the tracks. So, as you can see, the tracks are really badly damaged by the model glue. It's melted here and here. If I hadn't promised this Rhino to a friend of mine, I probably would have just basically torn this to pieces and just used that as battle damage. It looks like it's been hit by a multi-melter, so it would have worked quite well. But no, I promised this to a mate of mine, so I'm going to glue it back together and make sure that it looks awesome. So these tracks still, where they're warped so badly, they still don't meet when I try and glue it on. So I'm going to have to cut all the way around this section here and just basically glue it from the edge. So let's remove this section of plastic here. Okay, now that the sides are flat, this has been adhered together, let's put on the tracks. So, glue along the edge here, round this section here, on the back here, around there, along the top. Anywhere where I think it might make contact. There's not a lot to adhere to here, as they say the plastic was so badly melted that it's warped. Okay, so that's one side. As you can see, there is no way I can't not have gaps down the sides here, as I say, because the plastic was so warped, it's not going to allow me to make contact. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I stick that as best I can, then I'm going to fill that with modelling putty. That way I can smooth it off and you won't be able to see any of the gaps, and you won't have the horrible gaps in it that it had before I started this. This one is in a little bit better a state than the last one. There's not the huge holes in it, it hasn't warped quite so badly, and also we've got a nice flat surface here to adhere to, so fingers crossed this one will actually attach with very few gaps. So apply the glue along the sides, let that go there, anywhere where I think it's going to make contact, along the edges there. There we go. Right. Okay, and you'll see there that there is no gap there. Unfortunately, where the chassis is twisted, there's a bit of a gap there. But as I say, bit of modelling putty on there, and that should be fine. Okay, so at the moment we have a much better looking, if slightly wonky, Rhino. Now I could go in here and I could cut all the plastic from along the edges inside. I could take the whole sides off and then glue it straight onto it, but quite frankly this Rhino has suffered enough, and I think that's good enough for now. I'll put some modelling putty in here, or some green stuff in here, wait for it to dry, undercoat the whole lot, and then we should be ready to paint it. Rhinos are a couple of thousand years old from the Dark Age of technology. If they have got a few bits missing, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to cause a problem, and it'll go with the whole grim dark aesthetic anyway. So that is a Rhino rescued from painting and modelling hell. Thanks for watching Recycle 40k. Please like and subscribe because it encourages me to do these videos. I've only just got started, so I'm just want to make sure I'm getting this right. Any tips, tricks, anything that you can give me for making my channel better, please do so. I'm always willing to listen. Be nice. Thanks for watching Recycle 40k. Remember, 40k is an expensive hobby. Don't buy. Reuse, repair, recycle. Like and subscribe.